I'm seeing more Asians in movies. Is that such a good thing happening for Asian? I don't necessarily think that's good or bad. I mean, it's definitely meaningful that movie industries don't mind hiring more Asians for screen, but as I said in the previous video, I don't really see value in seeing diversity cast in movies. Like, does having Asian improve the quality of the movie? I don't think it does, but I focus more on if the show is enjoyable rather than thinking like this show needs at least two more Asian to be qualified as a good show. But anyway, if people are bored of just looking at white and black actors, I guess Asians on screen can give more fresh feeling. It's like mainstream media trying to push their diversity agenda and it's turned for Asian after waves and waves of pushing black and Hispanic characters. However, what I notice is that Asian characters are handled in very different ways, as if they're having Asian for the sake of having Asian character in the movie. And that's exactly what the term token Asian stands for. It's basically having Asian sidekick character who doesn't have any character development and just exists to show their ethnicity is Asian. For instance, character like Teddy from Hangover, Prince Yan from The Marvels, and maybe Raj from the famous show Big Bang Theory, and Rose Tico from Star Wars The Last Jedi. Most of these characters are background characters who are not really important in storyline, and to be honest, I don't really care that Asians are not often important characters. That's not really a problem. It's not like Asian needs to be lead characters in every movie. There are other main reasons why South Koreans hate token Asian characters. One of the reasons Koreans are not supporting token Asian roles in movie and show is because it's mainly used to strengthen the Asian stereotypes. How many times have we seen Asian characters who's like 4.0 GPA, math genius, wearing glass and not good at sports? Like 90% of Asian roles are about being nerd. Look at Teddy from Hangover. He's like casually Ivy League kid who's super good at musical instruments. It's like cluster of Asian stereotype. Look at Nat from New Spider-Man. He's like engineer and science nerd talking about getting into MIT. I guess Peter Parker in Spider-Man is like science nerd, so it's kind of coherent, but my point is that Asian characters is just grouped as nerd, as if that's the only role Asians should play. I saw some other perspectives that those could be positive stereotypes since Asians are thought to be smart and hardworking, but that's not my point. I appreciate people think Asians are smart, but why are Asians only allowed to play that role on screen? Just like not all black people are NBA players, not all Asians represent that stereotype, and many Koreans are just sick of seeing same Asian character over and over. And connecting from the previous point, I think token Asian is used as a tool to represent Asian culture rather than treated as individual character. For instance, Raj from Big Bang Theory, almost always Raj is in the scene. It's about how Raj reacts as Indian or talk about Indian culture rather than focusing on Raj as individual. On the other hand, Sheldon in Big Bang Theory is known more for being Sheldon, including his personality and his character. I understand that it's convenient to use exotic characters to relate to their culture, and I don't think it's really a bad thing, but if that's how token Asian is used for like 90% of the time, I think that's wasteful. You have interesting character and only use them to make ethnic joke. I think there is more potential to it. But even worse, I think token Asian is purely used to show that the movie industry follows diversity policy guidelines and nothing more. When I look at how disrespectful movies handle Asian characters, it's kind of offensive. Look at Rose Tico from Star Wars. Not even going to mention that she played tiny role in storyline, but just throwing hated role to Asian actress is just pure disrespect. My point is like movie industry casts one or two Asians just to be able to say that their movie is woke and respect diversity, not because they want to use Asian character in any meaningful way. And that's why most South Koreans hate token Asian characters in Hollywood movies. The last reason is actually a bit interesting. South Korean people are wondering why token Asian characters are almost always played by not so traditionally attractive actors. Most of the Asian characters are played by actors or actresses who have presumed stereotypical look like small eyes, high cheekbone, and a bit tanned skin even for East Asian characters. And 90% of token Asian characters are extremely far off from what Korean beauty standards are showing. And it seems Koreans are wondering why movie industries insist hiring from their standard, not so attractive looking cast. I guess beauty is subjective, but I kinda agree with this. Imagine like American characters in K-drama are always blonde, blue eye, What would people say? It's almost as if conventionally attractive Asians are not allowed to be on screen. All combined, the impression I got is that South Koreans don't really appreciate token Asians in media. We don't really like to be treated as just a cluster of stereotypes. There are other perspectives that token Asian is good because it means more Asians will have access to film and media. But what's the use if we are only consumed for social stereotypes, not perceived as individual? I hope Asian people can be viewed with a bit less cultural context because we are not so different after all. I think token Asian will become obsolete in near future as we are seeing more Asian culture assimilate to other countries, like huge demand of K-drama, more access to Korean foods and so on. I think people are more familiar with Asian culture now, and I think we have capability to compete as its own without having token Asian. As I said in the previous videos, I don't think forced diversity is the answer, and you cannot really force culture, it needs to appeal people. And Korea has done pretty good job marketing our culture, and I hope more people find it fascinating. Thank you for watching.